Good evening, Brother James, Mr. Fike, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the faculty and staff, family, and of course my classmates, the class of 2023. It is truly an honor to be here today to share a major part of my 4 years at LaSalle, the strengthening of my faith. When I was selected to be the baccalaureate speaker, I was beyond excited. The class of 2023 is an undoubtedly special group. As freshmen, we entered LaSalle to learn and to immerse ourselves in the rich community that so many of us had heard about, whether from our friends, brothers, fathers, or upperclassmen. I still remember going to the first football game of that school year as a freshman and having a special feeling. Standing at the top of the student section at Crawford Stadium at North Penn High School, I knew that the community at LaSalle was as advertised and better. LaSalle won that game 42-6, so it was an especially good memory for that 14-year-old standing behind hundreds of upperclassmen that day. Looking back just 4 short years ago, I can confidently say that each and every one of the members of this graduating class faced challenges that they were not expecting. Despite any setbacks we might have faced, I think those bright-eyed youngsters that sat in Brother JD's, Mr. Williams's, Brother Bill's, Mr. Collins's, or Mr. Demeter's freshman religion classes would be proud of the young man that they are today. When COVID hit in March of 2020, I think our class was just starting to hit its stride. Spring of freshman year is when students start feeling very, if not completely comfortable with their new environment. But this class was unable to experience that. You might remember, though, that the COVID pandemic was not the first day of school we missed due to an illness that year. In December of freshman year, whooping cough extended our Christmas break, which was pretty fun. COVID was obviously different, though. And for many of us, the transition to online school was not seamless. For a group of guys that were just getting comfortable in their new surroundings, not being in the building to see your buddies was tough. But nevertheless, we persevered. Over quarantine, it was a struggle to keep up with our regular faith lives. There were obviously no longer Friday morning prayer services or school masses. I know my parish, St. Alphonsus, had masses streamed, but simply didn't have the same feeling. It became imperative that we all took responsibility of our own faith lives, which, looking back, I think was actually a great thing for me. I think that because of the difficulties during COVID, once restrictions were lifted, I was more excited than ever to return to the flow of going to Mass and participating in school faith activities. Sophomore year was by no means normal, but a return to the physical classroom, seeing our friends, and being in front of teachers again was definitely a breath of fresh air, despite the masks. Our junior and senior year has had a sense of normalcy, but with that return to normalcy came a great responsibility for the class of 2023. That responsibility was namely to help restore the community that was a major reason why we all came to LaSalle. Band concerts that were once sold out were now limited in attendance, and basketball games had hundreds of open seats. It was our class's responsibility to fill those seats again and bring back the great community that we had known pre-COVID. The words of St. John Baptist de LaSalle ring true when he said, "To live in a community that is faithful to the rule is to live in the boat with Jesus and his disciples." When LaSalle's community is at its best, so also is the spirit of faith. I look back at Silent Night the past 2 years, the 10,000 plus people at Franklin Field when our football team beat St. Joe's, the packed to the brim auditorium for West Side Story, and the Orange Out soccer game against Lincoln to remember Blake, and so many other examples lead me to say with great confidence that the LaSalle community is stronger than ever. A cornerstone of the LaSalle experience is, quote, leave to serve. Our class, I hope, will be remembered especially for our generosity and commitment to service. Whether it be going on summer service trips, helping with homework at Rising Stars, or helping raise money for our neighbors at Our Mother of Consolation. This class has been generous with both their time and their resources, and it is my hope that we are remembered in that fashion. So where do we go from here, one might ask? The answer I'm looking for is not the obvious college or into the work world answer. Instead, I think the answer of best fit is a phrase that many of us might have heard at Kairos. After LaSalle, we go forth together and by association. All of us now have a unique bond, and that bond doesn't end today. It doesn't end when we graduate college either. I was given the chance to speak to the Golden Explorers, who are graduates of 50 or more years, at a dinner earlier this year, and that experience gave me clarity as to what it means to be a LaSalle graduate. We will forever be together as we all share this common experience. While individually, I'm confident that this class will have immense success in college and professionally, it is the collective class of 2023 whose achievements will live on forever. I think if we take a good look at tonight's gospel, we hear a direct call from God to go out and spread the good news. As Jesus asks his newly minted disciples to become fishers of men, so also can we spread the LaSallian mission in college and beyond. Here at LaSalle, we have grown into men of intellect and accomplishment, but more importantly, men of faith, service, justice, and compassion. Just as Simon and Andrew went forth to spread the good news, so also are we leaving LaSalle, but keeping our LaSallian and Catholic mission with us. We are moving on, but now is when the real work starts. I would like to conclude with this reminder from our founder, St. John Baptist de LaSalle, when he said, "The miracles of God's providence take place every day." We are called as LaSallians to serve Jesus, and it is now our job and our time to answer his call. God bless each of you tonight and always.